I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the
All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Let's talk a little about, I've been making these series and, this is CEO, everybody on stream. This is the video I've been talking about. I'm going to pinpoint why the NFL product, whether on the field, is bad, why the NFL doesn't feel the same, why you have bums like Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, Mac Jones this year are cooking, right? In 2020 is the reason why. Now, let's go all the way back to 2020. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the disease name on YouTube anymore. I mean, no one really cares about it anymore. I haven't heard about it in about 4 or 5 years, but to be safe, I want to make money off this video, but the disease that was going around at that time, CEO or someone in the comments. Am I allowed to say that now on YouTube? Because I know for a while that word was banned from YouTube for a while, but that disease was going around, and there was a lot of questions about the NFL season progressing. And we obviously know the NFL season started from week 1, but here's the problem. There was no preseason in 2020. And let me show you guys something. Let me share my screen real quick so I can just share my screen. Don't share my screen in videos anymore. I put in, did the NFL have preseason 2020? No, the NFL did not have preseason 2020. All expedition games were canceled due to that disease. In an agreement between the league and the NFL Player Association to ensure the regular season could be played. All right. So, and you guys can see right there, they canceled it in July of 2020. Now, what does this mean, RJ? Why is the NFL product so bad? Why are people like Daniel Jones and Mac Jones and stuff like that? Why are they succeeding? I can tell you why they're succeeding. It's because there's no preseason anymore. There was no training camp during 2020 either. And what started this was 2020. Now, this was a precursor before 2020 because even before that, there was 4 preseason games and there was training camp. But they kind of toned down training camp a lot because of, concussion, CTE, and all that other BS, even though they're having them play Thursday Night Football. But that's besides the point. Before 2020, there was still training camp. There were still 4 preseason games, which means 2 things. Number 1, players had to play in the preseason, at least 2 preseason games. And number 2, the coaches could actually run their schemes. They could actually run their schemes in preseason and in training camp. Now, since 2020's happened, and there was no training camp, there was no preseason, but here's the thing. The NFL made a lot of money during 2020. They made a lot of money during 2020 because, number 1, because everybody was at home chilling. There was nothing going on in 2020. And number 2, let's be for real. A lot of people like the regular season more than preseason or training camp, which I'm including it. I'm also including that as well too. Here's the problem though. 2 things can be true. Is the regular season more exciting than training camp and preseason? Yes. Not even a question. But is preseason and training camp important? Yes. Because you know what 2020 did? It told the owners, it told Roger Goodell, it told the GMs, it told the coaches, like, hey, we don't need to prepare for the regular season, prepare our schemes offensively and defensively. It told players we don't need to play preseason or even try that hard in training camp to get into football shape. We could just go out there September 4th and just play. And that's why we see bad football. That's why we see bums like Daniel Jones and Mac Jones progressing. And who else? Sam Darnold being a top 10 quarterback in the league. Like, just think about that. Hell, even guys like Tua, like, these guys would not. Like, I'm sorry. now that defensive coaches don't have to really do anything in the training camp or preseason, since they cut down a preseason game for a regular season game, like now they don't have to scheme. Now Daniel Jones can just run all over them for no reason. Mac Jones can look like Tom Brady out there for no reason. There's no more preparation before the season. And that's why I think 2020 was very detrimental to the NFL, because there was no preseason, there's no training camp due to the stuff that was going on in 2020. But they made a lot of money during the 2020 season. And that told the owners and Roger Goodell, that told the GMs, that told the coaches, that even told the players, because it all starts from the top. It starts from the top all the way down to the bottom. We don't need to prep to have good football. All we need is just to go out there and we'll figure it out. That is complete and utter BS. Preseason is important. You need to plan your schemes. There's a reason why, like, bro, Daniel Jones, like, bro, he should not be anywhere. He had this renaissance just out of nowhere. For what? He's garbage. And let's go back to 2020. Like, bro, the NFL season was bad. People forget how bad the product was back then. Like, I think, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember, like, bro, wasn't like, washed up Phillip Rivers with the Colts made the playoffs. I think that was the year Big Ben's washed up self went undefeated, I think. CEO, you should remember this. Wasn't RG3 looking like a competent quarterback when he played with you guys? Because I think, didn't Lamar get injured in 2020? Or at least, somewhere in that 2020 season. I could be wrong. But I just remember a lot of bad football being played back then. And no one... That should never. Mac Jones, didn't Mac Jones make the playoffs? Mac Jones made the playoffs in 2020. Like, there was a lot of bad football being played. There was a lot of bad football being played because there was no preseason, which means there was no tape. And number two, there was no preparation. Now they prove they can make a lot of money not having preseason or training camp. That's why you see Sam Darnold's cooking. That's why you see Geno Smith have that renaissance year in 2022. That's why you see Drake May cooking. It's beyond horrible. And listen, I'm not sitting here championing preseason. Do I watch preseason? No. But I can understand. I'm not sitting here. I'm one of these guys. I don't care about the NFL. I know, granted, I don't care about the NFL season at all this year. But before, I don't care about the NFL season until the regular season. Yes. But I can sit here and say preseason was important. The training camp, having training camps, hard, no diddy, hard, scheme first training camps are important. Because Daniel Jones was a bum. He was a bum. And you can kind of see this before. Notice how the NFL throughout, when they softened up training camp and they had guys playing less regular preseason games and snaps when there was 4, you had guys like Blake Bortles cooking. Like, people like Blake Bortles, like, wow. Like, at least with Blake Bortles, that was a one and done year. This dude, Daniel Jones, throughout the 2020s had 2, quote, good years. That should not be happening. Sam Darnold's about to have back-to-back good years. Mac Jones is having a good year with what's his name? What's this dude's name? With San Francisco. That should not be happening at all. Like, this 2020 destroyed the NFL because now they're gonna get rid of another preseason game and add an extra regular season another regular season game. So there's going to be 2 preseason games and 1 extra regular season game. You cannot, and I can't stress this enough, you need preseason. You don't have to watch. I'm not saying you have to watch, but the coaches, the players need preseason. You need to put your schemes up. And hell, let me also, Matt, I just thought of this off the spot. Also, preseason is also an indicator of what teams like to do. Because, I mean, sure, well, prime example, right? Let's just take the Colts for an example, because this whole Daniel Jones renaissance. And I think me and my co-host CEO who's probably watching this would agree. Like this whole Daniel Jones renaissance, we've seen this story before, but it's a thing because there's no more regular season or preseason. Say every team that was playing the Colts this year, they will get a little bit of film on Daniel Jones. Not all of it. They wouldn't know his schemes and stuff like that because coaches don't put out all their schemes and stuff like that. But they'll get a little bit of it if there was 4 preseason games. Now you get 3, and you only have your starters play what? Maybe 1 to 2 drives in one game. That's not enough. That's not enough at all. I mean, to be honest with you, I think every single starter, it's coming to my mind right now. Every starter, it was only game 1. Game 1 of preseason, none of the starters played. But game 2, 3, and 4, they all played. Now I'm starting to remember this. As a former Giants fan, I remember Eli, Odell, Victor Cruz, Sterling Shepard. All of them were played game 2, 3, and 4 in the preseason. And then they'll play maybe a quarter, something like that. Sometimes maybe a quarter and a half, somewhere along those lines. But hey, they got the reps. They got the schemes. Now it's just, hey, let's just get through preseason. Let's have barely any training camp, and let's just go out there. And that's why you see this whole Daniel Jones renaissance. And Mac Jones and Drake May. None of these guys suck. I'm sorry, these Bo Mix, they suck. Bryce Harper, they stink. So bad it's not even funny. And also, notice all the top quarterbacks that we consider top quarterbacks like Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Dak. Burrow. Burrow was 2021, 2020. No, Burrow was 2019, I believe, right? I could be wrong. He's somewhere in there. But with the exception of Burrow, all the best quarterbacks came from 2019 and below. None of these guys from 2020. Isn't that how convenient? How when 2020, when you got rid of when you cut down preseason and barely anybody plays, basically nobody plays, and and also barely any training camp. None of these quarterbacks from 2021 or even 2020, with the exception of Burrow, from 2020 onwards are good. How convenient, but it is what it is. This is a little longer video because I've been thinking for years, why is the product so bad? And just why are like these bad quarterbacks being like, why? But I feel like I pinpointed it. It is what it is. No one's really talking about it. That's my thoughts. What are yours? RJ out.